Well, the boardwalk today is wet from rain, and there's ice on the boardwalk, which means it was 32 degrees Fahrenheit or below. And when you put ice on plastic, it is extremely slippery. So this ramp right now is extremely slippery. And the temperature is right where I'm standing. It's cold because it's in the shade and because it's at the low point in the valley. So I'm just going to be extremely careful walking on this boardwalk. And I'll show you. Take a look. Well, today the sun came up early, so I got up early, and we're out here hiking in the Red Rock, Las Vegas desert, west side of town. And behind me, so you can see the shark fin. The crows are out. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. After today, it's done. What do I mean? Temperatures tonight going to be in the 30s, and that's just the way it's going to be. And for pretty much now for the rest of the winter, temperatures are going to fall really low in the desert. 20 minutes from here is the city, 10 minutes, and those temperatures will rise 10 to 15 degrees there from where I'm standing to the top of Mount Charleston, which is 12,924 feet. 30 degrees difference there. So let's get our hike started, and we're going to do some adventure today. We're going to make this short and sweet. That is ice. That is ice. Extremely slippery. This is extremely slippery. Like really slippery. Now just imagine you're climbing to the top of the shark fin, not even Mount Charleston. Shark fin's 8,000 feet, let's round it off. And all of a sudden it starts to rain. Well, you know what's going to happen. The rain's going to freeze. It's getting cold. And the entire sandstone will become a crusty ice skating rink. Now, you will have no chance to climb back down unless you have crampons for your feet, a hiking stick that can be made into, this is solid ice right where I'm standing, made into a metal point versus a rubber point. So there is different hiking sticks that work well under certain conditions. And you can actually have a rubber bottom to one, and then also have a metal pointed bottom to one. I'm on a small incline and I can barely walk. I can't imagine being at the top of Sharkfin Mountain behind me. That little 4.5 hour climb with those stones wet. It might take you a day and a half to come back down from that if it got rained on and it became icy and you had crampons only. If you had a walking stick with a point and crampons on your cleats for your boots or feet, then you have a better chance. But the real key ingredient is actually being able to strap on some crampons onto your hands, so that when you need to crawl between your feet and your hands, you won't be sliding. This is an ice skating rink here as we walk, so I'm going extremely slow. Now, what is hiking? What is adventuring? What is journeys? We're going to answer that today, because bushcraft hiking and survival and can be looked at in many ways. What do we have here? We have a plane. Cool. Bushcraft and hiking and survival. Well, bushcraft could be going to a store and finding a good article of clothing for you to survive with. Survival is finding something that works for you, and the hiking is getting to the store wherever it could be. So it could be a grocery store, it could be a clothing store, it could be a food store, it could be a thrift shop. And we have a propeller plane going overhead. Very unusual for this area to see a propeller plane of that sort in this area. But propeller planes can fly up to like 12,000 feet. There is a regulation to what they can go because of the carburation. But it is amazingly slippery out here today. I am talking, it is not worth coming out to this boardwalk this morning, since it rained last night, and this boardwalk is almost a sheet of ice. So that's a little heads up to anybody coming out to this area, that there's a little grip, but not much, and there's a little bit of slope to certain areas. This is extremely dangerous right now. This is the first time I've been on here and seen this under this condition, and very, very serious condition. So temperature right now here where I'm standing is definitely, right now it's still 32 degrees. I can just feel that I can feel it. It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which means this is not going to melt on this boardwalk until the sun hits it, and that's going to be another possibly, I'd say, 30 minutes to an hour. So let's just say it's 7:30. So coming out here, if there is any rain on the boardwalk, snow is different. Snow, you get some grip on it, but here there's some basically no grip. So check it out. This is really, really great. What a great view. Let me show you. Here it is. And that is the shark fin. The face of the shark fin could be 500, 1,000 feet, probably 1,000 feet from the top point to where it just starts to angle off. Now we're on the far south part of the boardwalk that's still in shadow, and this whole thing's ice. Let me show you. All right, so we made it out here to the end of the boardwalk, and this area right here had some melting since there was a warm spot, and I'm going to assume that the warm spot is because of this green area created some heat. The cave probably has heat coming out of it where the spring is, the red spring, Hummingbird Springs. So pretty interesting stuff, if you ask me. Now these trees here, they're just going to rest for the winter time, and then their leaves are going to come back on in the summertime. But we're going to, my fingertips, believe it or not, my fingertips for the first time in a long time are really, really like numb. I mean, they're cold. My circulation is usually really, really good, and it's really, really something else. So I'm just going to just keep on going down here. No wildlife out this morning. They're all hunkered in. Even though the sun came up early today, they're not going to be hanging around. Birds, chipmunks, squirrels, rabbits, they're like, this is way, way too early and way too cold for us to be out. So they're going to just hang out right now. Now this is downhill. So now this is downhill, and it seems like some of the warmth from the mountain here got the top icy surface on this boardwalk to melt. Now, there probably is some spots here that is icy, so I got to be careful. But when you're climbing up a mountain in the springtime, that's what you can get into. I'm sorry, in the wintertime, fall wintertime, you can get into icy transformations on the mountain. The other aspect is in the springtime you have snowmelt, and snowmelt is a discussion for Mount Charleston because they'll get 400 to 700 inches of snow up there, and the snow will start to melt from underneath, which means there's like under snow surface streams, and those surface streams create pretty much like rivers, and then it sort of weakens the top snow, and you can fall into it and severely not only get hurt, but you can drown, and it can be really, really bad. So even though it's only 12,924, it's a serious mountain. Any mountain that has snow on the top in the springtime that starts to melt, you got to be careful. Out west, Colorado, Utah, all the mountains around get snow on, and walking on top of the snow, you can fall in these little things. Like they're little holes, almost sometimes the size of a like a, I don't know, around 4-foot circle. And you can actually look down, and 10 feet down there you'll see the water running. So you can be really careful when the snow starts to melt underneath the snowpack. But anyway, we're going to go back to bushcraft, hiking, and survival. And the survival part of going into the city could be just finding a place to park, finding a place to spend a day. And the bushcraft is being adventurous, but yet being thrifty and smart. So there's many ways to look at hiking, bushcraft, and survival. It's not just out in the wilderness, even though that they use the terms, let's just say, in the wilderness in the beginning. But things change. Everything changes. Earth changes. Everything's changing, and we're back to ice again. So those are the important aspects of hiking, bushcraft, and survival. Now, okay, let's just talk real quick. Now the sun is actually hitting my hands. My face is getting warm. And the boardwalk here is starting to melt the ice in the sunny part. And we're going to take on some adventures today off of the desert and head into other hiking, bushcraft, and survival modes. And let's go see what we can find. So I hope you're going to enjoy today's adventure. The last one was about backpacks and climbing ropes. Don't know much about backpacks, but did a lot of research on it, and don't know much about climbing ropes, but did a lot of research on it, on the ropes, the lengths, the thicknesses, 2 roping, 3 roping, top roping, and the different aspects of climbing, and also backpacks. 60 to 70 liter backpacks is good for 3 to 5 days, 7 days, and something smaller like a 20 to 40 liter backpack is good for 1 day. And then the most important thing was, with all my research that I've gotten, 750 milliliters is good for like an hour hike total. 1 milliliter is good for the same thing, 1 liter. It's close to 750 is almost 1,000 milliliters, which is 1 liter. So how many liters do you need to hike from here to Shark Trail? On a winter day, probably, you know, like today with the humidity and so forth, maybe 1 liter, okay, depending on how fast you go and how hot it gets. You know, today's temperature is going to be about 65. Summertime, when it's 115, 3 liters easy. Anything beyond that, farther than that, you're going to go to like 5 and 6 liters of water that you need to take with you in the desert. So really, really important. All right. So let's kick it off. Welcome to Hiking, Bushcraft, and Survival. No. Let's stop. Hello and welcome to Education and Safety. I'm Mike. Today's adventure is starting out here in the Red Rock Desert on the boardwalk, which was death-defying, slippery as ice, and almost ridiculously not even worth walking on it. It's that dangerous. Seriously, I mean, it's seriously dangerous right now. I've walked on ponds that are 4 or 5 feet thick of ice, and it seems like, since it's flat, it was a lot easier to walk on than on this that's angled and pitched and all kinds of stuff with ice on it. So I highly recommend staying off this boardwalk if there's any ice on it like it is today. And it became icy because of the rain and the temperature changes from yesterday, and it is really icy. And you can still see that. Look, I'll show you. That is ice. So, if you want to question my authenticity of the boardwalk with ice, this authenticates it 1,000,000,000% that there is ice on the boardwalk. So, let's move on and keep going. Very, very dangerous. So we're going to get off the boardwalk, and we're going to take we have to do one thing before we get going. So I'm going to have to take a break get some things done. Hopefully I can get them done. And then we're going to go do a little adventure and see what we can find. You know, that's what it's all about. Do an adventure, a journey. I'm blown. This is the first time I've been on this boardwalk with it having been ice, and I've been on this boardwalk many, many times. And it's been rained and temperatures have been low, but for some reason every time it's gotten cold, the boardwalk's never held the water and then frozen. But this is the first time I've seen it this worse. Really, really bad. So just going to be really careful coming down here because of the steepness of it and so forth. But anyway, we're going to continue this video, and we're going to bounce right back to a new area. I hope you stay tuned to join me, and we're going to do something special. And today's the December 23rd, and 2 days before Christmas. The 25th is Christmas, which is Monday, so today is Saturday. And Las Vegas, Nevada is hopping. People enjoy Las Vegas during the holidays. They come out here. I mean, the cowboys and the cowgirls just had probably the best time of their lives going to South Point and to the Mac Center for their world championships. And if you want to see something amazing, I mean, just incredibly great, you got to come to that. Like, it's like a 10-day, 7th to the 17th, 10-day amazing competitions of everything you want to see. I mean, just constantly, from morning till night. From 8 o'clock in the morning until like 9 o'clock at night. Like 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, no, 5, 6, like 8 o'clock at night. There's like tons of cowboys and cowgirls competitions. Now I'm going to turn this off because I need to hold on to the railing. Let's continue. All right. It looks like we found something. We found a shirt, and we tried it on, and believe it or not, it worked pretty good. And we found this at the Goodwill, so not bad to find. And hey, that's all I can say is, you know, sometimes you can get lucky, and sometimes you can't. But you know, a little bushcrafting and a little bit of survival, and I got myself, you know, not a bad shirt. You know, it'll last, and I can always use a long, thin undershirt if I want to with it, and it should be fine. Couldn't find any long sleeve shirts because the sleeves are always too short for me, but that's besides the point. But anyway, let's just keep rolling here. All right, pretty nice. It is what it is, unless we find something else. You say, where are we? Well, we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we went from the desert to the Las Vegas Strip. And let's go enjoy and see what we found at the thrift shop. So what do we find? We found a beautiful black plaid and white short sleeve shirt, and we're going to put that on now. Check it out. All right, so we have the shirt on, and believe it or not, it fits pretty good. I mean, for $10, I think it's fine. I think the let's see if the button closes, and the button, yeah, button will close, believe it or not. So I got lucky, and now I finally have a short sleeve dress shirt. Haven't had one in years, but I'll tell you what, you know, when you just go out there and do a little looking for stuff, and you know, you gotta like bushcraft and hike and survive, and I did today. So I hope you enjoyed so far the content. I didn't get too detailed about the thrift shops because that's up to you. So you say to yourself, what kind of shows are in the casinos? Well, one of the shows is called Awakening. That's going on. And it looks like there's a magician. Ace of Spades is coming into town on the December 29th to the 31st. So he'll be around too. When you first come in, you're going to be mesmerized by the incredible carpet of this particular casino we're in right now, is the Wynn and Encore. Pretty amazing. So I hope you enjoyed the content and the videos. Until again, thanks for joining me, and I'm Mike, And remember, just do a little bushcraft and survival yourself, and you'll find something special. Turtles. More turtles. Formula 2, Formula 3. Now at the Wynn shops, one of the interesting things is they have watches. And some of these watches here are Omega watches. And very exciting. So if you like watches, I'm sure if you come down here, you can watch the watches, or perhaps even watches.
The room needs to happen with the back.
Pretty fancy watches. So, with the Spirit coming up in the next 2 days, I guess, let's see, the Spirit is, today's Saturday, Sunday night is the Spirit night, and then Monday is Christmas. And as you can see, there's a lot of plants and so forth, and the holidays look really, really great. And other than that, you got to come down. I mean, this is at the Wynn Casino right here. The Wynn and Encore, and this is the Wynn shops. And there's like one shop that has 2 stories, and then there's another side on the other side of the casino that has offshoots too, with shops too. So you really got to take your time to look around and do some walking. And if you can't walk, I'm sure you can find a wheelchair. I'm not sure if they're rentable here. You can always give them a call ahead of time before you even come to the casino to see if you can rent a wheelchair. So that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video content and the filming today. And until again, hey, have a great holiday, and maybe we'll do something tomorrow too. Some filming. I got something in mind, but we'll never know if it happens. Betting screens at the Wynn Casino, as you can see. Plenty of screens. and the screens are clever and wonderful. Let's have a seat and check them out.